Hey everyone, how are you doing this afternoon, this evening? Come on in the room, come on in the chat room. Hey man, Church Disease, I'm so glad you're here. You said I crack you up. I don't mean to actually crack you up though. I have 12 people in the chat. Please hit the like button as you come on in. And if you can't, please, those of you who are watching this on the replay, thank you for coming over and catching this watching this video. And I hope that everyone who comes across this, that you can find this information helpful, and that it will help you get maybe some answers, some more knowledge, and also a source or a path to get some healing, and also to get maybe a therapist or some type of support group that will help you with this. Okay. Now tonight we will specifically be talking about the religious trauma in the Black church, but I think whatever church, if you're not Black, I think some of these things that I'm saying, some of these sources that I'm going to give you tonight, it's been studied by multiple different people and groups, and there is a commonality in the religious trauma that people are getting from their church that they were raised in, or maybe they decided to attend. Okay. And also, if anyone has been in a cult, whether it's Christian or non-Christian, there is also religious trauma as well. Okay. Hey, Tony Exum. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm so happy for you, Tony Exum. And I hope whatever I say today can even be more helpful, or that you can share with other people who need to, be released from their religious trauma. I'm also going to be sharing some links in the chat, and also on the screen. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with exactly, what is religious trauma? Okay, so where is it? Okay, I don't know if you can see this on here, but I will definitely, matter of fact, let me go to the website where I got this from, and it'll be much better for you to see. Okay, you won't have to strain your eyes. Now, you need to also understand there are a lot of different people who go to different churches, and they all may have some commonality in, the symptoms in regards to their religious trauma, but it's maybe different things behind their religious trauma. Okay. So I'm going to be showing a lot of different sites, and can everyone see? Okay, make sure y'all see it. Okay. Okay. So this is actually from a group. They're called the Beam Collective, Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective. Um, so they do a lot of things in regards to. It says Beam is a national training movement building and grant making institution that is dedicated to the healing, wellness, and liberation of Black and marginalized communities. So they're also dealing with Black people in the church, but also other, Black LGBTQ as well. But this is not the only website I'm going to do. But I really was their definition of what what is Black religious trauma in Black churches was their focus. And I liked what they had to say. Let me go here. Okay. Oh, why is it not? It's not letting me stay on one. Okay. See, it's not letting me stay. Don't know why. Okay, so let me show you this then. Can anybody see that? I'm gonna make it bigger on this page. Okay. Okay. Can everyone see that? All right. Okay. And I like this is hey Uncle Fred Samuel, thank you so much for being here. So this is a definition I thought was very, very important on the Beam website. It says religious trauma syndrome, and they actually call it a syndrome, occurs when an individual struggles with leaving a religion or a set of beliefs. It often involves a trauma of breaking away from a controlling environment, lifestyle, or religious figure. In some settings, the symptoms of religious trauma can be similar to that of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And I have seen the various different articles in writing that RTS, or religious trauma syndrome, is actually considered a subset of post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay. And I just want you, oh, you say you can see it? Okay. All right. So, and it says here, how does trauma from Black churches show up? Okay. It's from Dr. Marlene Winnell. So it's cognitive negative beliefs about self-ability, self-worth, emotional depression, anger, anxiety, grief, loneliness, difficult with pleasure, loss of meaning, physical, high blood pressure, headaches, social loss of network, family rupture, social awkwardness, sexual difficulty or sexual compulsion or addiction, cultural unfamiliar with secular world, fish out of water feelings, difficulty belonging, information gaps. You know, there are some churches that teach that evolution is wrong and creationism is correct. There are some churches that say, hey, no secular music. Remember what Vita V said? She said she didn't know anything about people speaking in tongues because her church was preaching that was wrong. You know, so okay, so okay. So here's examples of religious trauma: suggesting sickness, illness brought on by lack of faith. Okay. Loss of church community or family. Being told not to hate the sin, love the sinner. Shamed being unwed or having an abortion. What did they do in Christ's apostolic temple? What did they tell them? Better to be married than burn. Okay. So you have a lot of women and men getting married to, strangers. Okay. Emotional, sexual, or physical abuse from church leaders, family members because of anti-gay beliefs. Okay, or it could be because of views about women, what women should be doing, how women should be acting. Okay, because there's some religions that are like, hey, women are in the home, women don't work. You need to homeschool your children. Men go out. Okay, men and women have to dress a certain way. Self-judgment, internal shame, feeling like something is wrong with you. And the thing is, I want people to know is there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. So how do we deal from unpack religious trauma? Setting boundaries with our church faith communities, challenging pastors to create religious trauma, creating or seeking faith communities that are loving and supportive, sharing and making communities aware of the impact of the doctrine, therapy, coaching, or peer support groups, talking with pastors who also have a counseling expertise. I don't know about the last one, but okay. And this is not a one size fit all, but this is um a path. This is, a way of getting, and I'm actually going to, and some of these things from the people who attended Christ Apostolic Church. Hey, Darren Moore, so glad you're here. That's good. I know you've been working hard. Okay. But thanks you for coming. But as you can see, Maurice McLean, Vita V, who was here, and I've also had other people in the comments on my last videos, and also people who have anonymously emailed me about their situation. They are trying to share with y'all about what these churches are doing so that all of us are aware. They are challenging these pastors. I'm also challenging these pastors by actually, reporting about this and giving my commentary about it. And as far as setting boundaries, some people have left their church. Okay. They're doing what's no contact. Okay. And they have, and hopefully they have gone to a community faith that is loving and supportive. And I'm just letting you know, those of you who are suffering from religious trauma, okay, you are welcomed here on the Let Me See Your Transcript channel. As a viewer, as a follower, as a member of my chat, as a person who wants to come up here and talk or tell their truth. Okay, you will be treated with respect and you will be heard. And as I'm saying this, and I had some, and I know Vita V expressed this too on her channel. Diane Reed, if you would like to come back and speak about your experience, I will listen to you. Okay. Maybe you didn't get to express everything that you wanted to last time, but you're definitely welcome to come back. Okay. So, and that's to any member of the Reed family, or Christ Apostolic Church, or any community where you feel like, hey, I'm experiencing religious trauma and I need to talk to someone. I need someone to hear me. Because a lot of times I think in these churches, we're not being heard. Okay. We are not, you can't question them about anything. Okay. And I've actually gotten some more information in the last couple of days from people reaching out that have basically reinforced what Maurice and Vita V and also Diane and also Brittany Reed have said about their experience with Christ Apostolic Church, especially in regards to Pastor Dwight Reed and also the late Bishop Jeremiah Reed. Okay, and I'm going to put the link to this article. To this website. And those of you who are in the LGBT community, they also offer some other resources as well. And it says, how can it impact Black, gay men, and LGBT people? Post-sex guilt, decreased sense of self-worth, sexual compulsivity to cope, self-sabotaging relationship, being unfamiliar with mainstream culture, isolation, struggling with fitting in and belonging, nightmares, sleeping issues, eating issues, anxiety symptoms, depression symptoms, grief symptoms, and loneliness. Okay, because you're being told, hey, this is a sin and you need to do this to fit in or to get into heaven. Okay. And I think some of those symptoms you also can have also as a person who is not um, LGBTQ as well. Okay. So there's the first article, this article that I'm putting in here. Okay. All right. Boy, you know I'm live now. My dog likes to. What is thanks, Marjorie. You can't question them often because they have no answers. So they hide behind religious hierarchy. Yeah. You don't question the man of God. What is that passage they always like to say? Touch not mine anointed. And I'm just like, is the pastor or the bishop, the man of God, the woman of God, are they the only ones anointed? Hey, Lewis Franklin. So glad you can join me. I'm just saying, like, are they the only ones? Okay. Okay. Um, this is also another website that I've been sharing a lot of the last couple of days. And I like this one because it also provides a link so you can search for a therapist. Okay. And just to let you know, there are religious trauma is relatively, I guess you said in the last probably decade, has been like a new subfield that is being addressed. There are people who are specifically um, in practice who are dealing with religious trauma. And that's the one thing is if you do seek therapy, you need to seek someone who knows what they're doing. Okay? Who has expertise. And I also really like this article because it's reviewed by a PhD, a licensed social worker, and a doctor. And the article was actually published last year, so it's a lot more recent. Okay, and I think they said it got updated today. So they also are saying, um, same thing. Religious trauma occurs. Mhm. Are y'all? Hold on. Me. Okay. Religious trauma occurs, RTS occurs when an individual struggles with leaving a religion, like I said before, or a set of beliefs that has led to their indoctrination. It often involves the trauma of breaking away from a controlling environment, lifestyle, or religious figure. Okay? Because remember, your religious figure may be male or female, or it may be a couple. Like there are husbands and wives who are co-pastors, and or husbands and husbands, or wives and wives who are co-pastors. You never know. It also involves it in some settings. The symptoms of religious trauma can be similar to that of complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, and so I really, like I said, I really like this. They have also examples of trauma. Okay, and right here, it says what is religious trauma syndrome, and it's actually, unfortunately, it's not included in the most recent version of DSM-5. But however, it still impacts millions of people a year, and like I said, it's very similar to c-ptsd. Okay. All right. Okay. And I like to hear what it says. Um, when one is surrounded by a strong community of like-minded individuals who see their religious path the only way to identify those not in the religion to be bad or misguided. And so therefore you cannot be in contact with people who are not in the religion. So not observing holidays, not going to movie theaters, um, people who don't dress modestly. Okay. And then here we also need to talk about that it's spiritual abuse. And in some ways it can be emotional. And then if they are, in some ways it's probably also sexual abuse as well. There is molestation, there is sexual harassment of men and women or boys and girls in the church. Okay. Okay. Here we have some examples of religious trauma. They go into a little bit more detail. A child experiencing same sex attraction may be told that their feelings are sinful, that they need to repent. A young woman finds herself pregnant out of wedlock, may be subject to sanctions and be ostracized from the church. Remember, like, sat down. I don't know if y'all heard that in the black church called sat down. You can't participate in different roles in the church. Adolescents expressing their thoughts may be physically disciplined or beaten into submission by a parent or religious leader to save their soul. Okay. A person being told that the majority of their financial resources should go to the cause of furthering the message of the religion, causing financial hardship. Okay. I don't know how many times y'all have heard Malachi 3:10. So what is that? What is it? Social. I know it by heart by the time uh it gets around to the offering time. But some other religions are way more, you know, strict about that. They want you to turn over all their finances. Okay. Not just 10%, love offering, special fund, a building fund. Okay. Um, in some cases, you join them and all of your resources go to them. And by the way, this is not, and this, and like I said, I'm going to say this to this as well. There are Christian cults or churches who do this, and there are non-Christian cults and how's the worship who do this. Because I was just reading about what's his name, Nature Boy. This man has a group of followers. They're all in the house. They used to live in another, country. He has multiple wives. All these different members must give over everything to him once they come and live there, and they must do everything he says. They call him captain. And if you misbehave or don't do something correct, then you have to go through what's called direction. Basically, you're in a military formation with your palms up, and you have to stand there and listen to him talk for hours. And if you move, he makes you do push-ups. Okay, I even saw a video where the mom, it was two of them, which was a couple, mom and a dad, and their son was in formation with them. And I was just like, what the baby do? Why is the baby in there? Boy, stop now. Okay. All right. I'm just like, the baby ain't do nothing to nobody. Hey, Tristan McGregor, so happy to be here. Hey, V to V. So glad you can make it. Okay. So that's some of the things that a person is being told makes, Religious trauma syndrome. Okay. So here are your symptoms. And this was someone I mentioned before. Poor critical thinking skills, difficulty making decisions. Because guess what? Someone told you what to think and told you what to do before. Decreased sense of self-worth, difficulty building strong relationships, being unfamiliar with mainstream culture, nightmares, sleeping issues, eating issues. Okay. All right. Let me go here. It says the lasting mental effects, guilt, depression, hopelessness, and fear. Okay, here's 8 ways to recover from religious trauma. Recognize that it has occurred. Separate your personal feelings from your beliefs. Get connected to healthy support and community. So this website, just like the Beam, is telling you the same things. Some of the same things. And here it says, finding a therapist can feel like a daunting process. And it may seem unlikely to find a clinician that specializes in religious trauma. However, a trauma-informed therapist that specializes in complex post-traumatic stress disorder, CPTSD, can be a great starting point for getting additional support. A few therapy techniques to explore that have proved helpful for recovering from trauma include EMDR and somatic therapy. Okay. What is E? Okay, EDMR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy, entheogenic therapies, and somatic therapy. In each case, there was an emphasis on people connecting to a larger community of trauma survivors, as well as recognizing the link between traumatic experiences and their adverse effects on the physical body's nervous system. So not only is the religious trauma syndrome affecting you mentally and emotionally, it's also affecting you physically. Okay. Okay. Know that you're not alone. And I want you guys to understand that too. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not alone. Okay. Okay. And they also offer some additional find an experienced therapist, find a therapist, schedule a free therapist matching consultation. Okay. Get started now. Also, right here, you can click on here and it will help you. Or is it? We're going to put trauma. Okay. And we're just going to put in here because we've been dealing with Des Moines. Okay. So we're going to put search. All right. So this one takes no insurance. If you don't have insurance. All right. And this one verified by choosing therapy. And let's see if they have, I don't know what y'all have up there. Do y'all have the same ones we have here? Which one should I? Let's put all. We can't put all insurance or common insurance. Let's put. You got Aetna. You got Blue Cross Blue Shield. Humana. They got Cigna. Cigna. Let's try Cigna. Oh. Okay. Do they got Aetna? Oh. What do they have? Okay. I know. Let's do United Healthcare. No. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm not doing this correctly. Okay, let's put abuse survivors of abuse. Let's do that. No, what? Okay. Okay. This is no. Okay, now I'm gonna have to find another website now. We gotta find some people in Iowa some help. Okay, they got a questionnaire. Okay. I don't know. Okay, I have some other resources, y'all. But I thought this was one. How do I recognize? I'm gonna put this in the chat. Hey Vesper, I'm just showing people different resources about what religious trauma is, and ways that you can get help. And I was trying to go through this website. This is not the only one I have. I have another one too. Okay, choosing. Hey Christine. All right. I'm put this in the chat, and I'll also put this in the description for you all as well. Okay. Looks like. Okay, I just put in my state, and several people have shown up. Okay, I'm gonna have to find y'all another website. We can find some find some different therapists. Okay. I have another website that helps you find therapists if you suffer from religious trauma syndrome. Okay. This is called Meet Monarch. Okay. And let me share this page. Okay. Now, if you're in Texas, these are 420 plus trauma therapists. Okay. And actually, and over here on the side, I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can see this very well. Let me make sure I make this bigger. 2, 3. We go back a little bit. Okay. So over here on the side, on the right hand side, it says top trauma therapist by healthcare insurance carrier. Is this one better than the other one? I think this one is. So you got Cigna, Aetna, United, Anthem, Kaiser, Medicaid, Blue Cross, Medicare. Because yes, they're older. And then here's the top trauma therapist by state. Okay. Okay. We have to find some. Look, top therapists near you and top therapists for online therapy. Because now because of COVID, some therapists can do telehealth where they you do FaceTime with them, they give you a link, and you can see them and talk with your problems. And that's really good as well. Or Zoom. Okay. All right, so let's click here. All right, so let's choose Des Moines, Iowa. Oh, okay. We got something here, y'all. All right, we got we put trauma. Okay, childhood trauma. Why they say childhood trauma? It could be any type of trauma. Okay. Should I put in some other symptoms? Okay, I'm putting some more symptoms. Oh, you can try to see if they are available evenings, weekends, in person, online. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, telehealth, like I said. Okay. Mm. But some of your childhood trauma can be from the church, so I just thought about that. Okay. So 53 with depression. Okay. This is Des Moines. But you can also look for other states as well. So, all right. There's another one I heard of, but that one specifically, and I'll put that into. It's like find a black therapist. I'd say you can't go to a white therapist, but I think sometimes culturally, you may benefit from having a therapist either the same race or the same gender, or even the same. Well, do you want the same religion? If you're maybe, I don't. Okay, y'all. Okay. Oh, they got more if you just put it in there. Okay. Okay. Oh, so you can change just letting you know, you can change the location, y'all. Okay. So I don't want you thinking like, oh, I'm not in Texas. Why is she showing me Texas? You can change it. You can change it. Okay. You can change it. Just click location. All right. Okay. 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 So I'm gonna put this in the chat. Okay. Can you sue for religious trauma? Religious trauma is like a B-rated horror movie. I've heard of Bubba Thumpers, but never religious trauma. Yeah, Keeper 116. Religious trauma is basically a new field. It's a subset of, or it's very similar to complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Um, you know what? That's a good question because remember, there have been children in the Catholic Church, also victims in the Jehovah's Witness faith, and I think recently there's been some um, things going on in 7-Day Adventists where they have sued for in their case it was sexual abuse, but I still think that's a form of religious trauma. So I think you can. Okay, Tristan, what do you mean by religious fanatic? But I think that is why I'm also you might have to go back a little bit, Keeper, because I went over the symptoms of religious traumatic syndrome, and I think that's also with going to a therapist you realize, or joining a community of survivors, that okay, yeah, this is I'm emotional about this. My decision making skills is not right. I have depression or anxiety. I can't sleep. I don't have very healthy relationships. an overzealous believer, that person could have religious traumatic syndrome because they are in the religion and they have been told, like, hey, you need to spread the word of God to anyone and everyone, that person. But I'm just saying that could be a symptom because, like, that's what everyone in that religion does. But then again, this person might just be overzealous on their own. So you got to look at, okay, is everybody in the church overzealous? Is there a community of peer pressure to conform? You know, um, you know. Okay, I'll put that in the chat as well. Find a therapist, monarch therapist, and I will put these in the description as well. Let me see if I can find the one about finding a black therapist because I remember seeing one. Oh, this is another good one too. I don't know if anyone is in Seattle. Um, these people call restoration counseling Seattle. Let me put that in the chat. Counseling. Seattle. Seattle.com. Oh no, I didn't have to write anything in. Now I'm just putting these links in here. But if you have any, there's a restoration counseling. Oh, there are other places that have restoration counseling. But okay. But they do deal with religious trauma, and they also provide EDMR therapy. Okay. Which is one of the therapeutic practices of someone okay. This one specifically is Seattle, but I'm Googling some other things. There are other states that have restoration counseling. Okay. That deal with mm-hmm. And they do telehealth too, so you don't necessarily have to go into the okay. And just letting you know, with the therapy, a lot of it is talk therapy. But if you're in a situation where your symptoms like depression and anxiety are so severe, you may benefit from medicine. Doesn't mean it's going to fix everything, you know? Okay. Tristan, I don't know. I believe in UFOs. I had no dog in this fight. What are you talking about, Tristan? Okay. All right. Vita V, can I drop the link so you can explain a little bit more what you were saying in the chat? Thanks, Keeper. I'm glad you're here. That you can learn something that you can also pass on to someone else. Okay. So what Vita V said, okay. That's just not like the Catholic Church, for example, nuns, when they are abused within the walls or structure of the church, they often don't speak out against it. They are conditioned that it's the Father and the Father that loves them, giving themselves in honor. Okay, yeah. Okay, remember Vesper when I showed you the video Sunday when Bishop Dwight Reed said, "Oh, today is my father's birthday." Hey, he was your father too. And we're gonna celebrate his birthday today. And I think Vita V had also told us that everybody called him dad or papa or something like that. So and okay. And this is a group out of New York. This from they made the New York Times. It's called when religion leads to trauma, and they're an actual church. The pastor of the church actually leads the trauma. Gives trauma. Um, or it's called the Hope Church. The Hope Center, excuse me. The church offers the Hope Center. So there's people who are. Oh, and a good thing about this article, they have list of groups that you can click on that will help you. Because maybe you don't need a therapist, maybe you need a support group. You know. Hey, Vita V, how you doing?
Hey, I'm all right. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you can make it. I know you're working hard over there on the front lines, fighting this in the hospital on the front lines. How you feeling?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
Okay.
Can't complain.
So I was just wanting you just to explain the whole idea of I think it was Tristan and I think Vesper that was asking about is person having religious trauma syndrome, is that like a religious fanatic?
No, it's a lot different. Religious fanatic would be more or less, I would associate more religious fanatic with like mental, more of like a
Okay.
mental, more of a mental health disorder because you just go into it like you're in your, you got, your altar in your church, in your home, and it's like that's more of a fanatic. What I mean by like trauma, we mean trauma. Like there are aspects where it controls every aspect of your life. Your financial, your mental, your emotional. It controls everything, every aspect of your life. You don't have really control over your life. And it damages you like your mind. and in your relationships with people just outside of your church. It damages your mind with society because you don't have the same relationship as with society as everyone else. Like your relationships with other people are not the same because you didn't have that. Like you were more sheltered,
Mm-hmm.
and your relationship and your dealings with folks was more with the same amount of people. Like you don't go out and you didn't have relationships with, other people like that. Like you may have went to school, but you really were set apart from them because you were deemed strange or or different because you look different and you were taught that that's of the world. So you don't need to be a part of them. Stay to yourself or stay with just the people that go within this organization or quote. And that's generally most organizational churches, they usually hang within amongst themselves. And when it becomes trauma is when you cannot associate outside of that. It's just them. That's all you see. And that's all your family majority is. You will drop your real family and carry on them as your family. Because to them, they are your family now. So you don't have, blood sisters and brothers or blood cousins, and then sometimes it's parents
Mm-hmm.
or other relatives. You don't have that relationship anymore. It's broken or it's damaged or there's some type of rift there because the belief is different. And it is taught that your belief in God has to go above bloodline, has to go above your love for your actual blood brother or your parents or whatever their belief is. That's
Mm-hmm.
when you get trauma because you can't function in life like that. You're not going to be able to go and be functional in society with having a one track mind and this has to be this way. It's just not going to work. And you're damaged emotionally and you're damaged mentally. And sometimes that hinders you financially because all your money is going into this particular organization or church. And that's how you are surviving. So that's why you hear a lot of people that go to church, not just with this particular one, but you'll hear a lot of people that, go to church and say, I give to just this church. And that's just what it is. I give my 10% to this particular church or this
Mm-hmm.
particular organization. And that's just what they do. And their financials go to that. But they don't deem outside of that. They don't put money anywhere else, like in like St. Luke's or St. Jude's or whatever. It's
Mm-hmm.
particularly just to this organization. Their money, their financials just go to that. They pay their mortgage or they pay their rent and then straight to the church. And sometimes your church comes before your mortgage, your rent, your lights, your kids. That church is
Mm-hmm.
above all else. This is when it becomes trauma because now this is embedded into your mind and it goes through your life like that. You go start off young and or you start off middle age and over years it becomes conditioned into your mind. You go through years that you don't realize it's happening. That's not how trauma works. It gradually goes over time and then you don't realize it. It just things that just start happening over time. And then eventually you just kind of caught into that kind of thing. You don't realize what's going on until you're into it or until you break free from it and then you see what it is for what it is. It's a very complex kind of thing. It never used to be a term for it.
Mm-hmm. It's
So
just very
the term is new. Yeah, the term is new.
it's not
Yeah,
even.
it's very brainwashing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I read earlier. It's not even in the DSM-5, which is like I guess the book that psychologists and social workers use because it's relatively new. But there are more and more therapists who are specializing in religious trauma, and there are like I put in restoration counseling. The Religious Trauma Institute is another good resource that will help you with therapists and finding groups that will help you because you need to be in a group of survivors. Okay, but yeah, it's and think of it as I was reading one of the articles. It says this lady got married and her husband uh they came back from the honeymoon and they were trying to figure out where they were going to go to church. Well, she stopped going to her church after like basically graduating college. And so when she went to church with him, she had a panic attack in the parking lot. And then she was fine and she went in. And then something the pastor said, she had another panic attack. And she kept noticing, like, hey, why am I having these panic attacks every time I'm going to church? And so she ended up going to therapy, and basically she has RTS. She went to a very conservative church. She went to a very conservative college, but she started questioning everything, you know, her last year of college, which led, unfortunately, to her isolation. And then she stopped going to her family's church, which I guess you say further isolated her. And so, but it was like things about church, I guess, that was so different when she went with her husband that it basically induced anxiety, panic attacks. Yeah. So it's real. BDV, did you ever get any type of anxiety or depression or something that happened to you that was like, something that's happened every time someone says something about church?
Yeah, I still have anxiety. Actually, yeah, I still get anxiety. I still, you know, have my little panic panic attacks. I still do. Like honestly, like I do. The first time I ever went inside a different church was when I was 32,
Mm.
and I'm 36 now. So this was not too long ago. So the first time I ever went inside a different church was when I was 36, and I sat in the parking lot and had a full blown heart racing, sweating. It was crazy. It was just like everything that I ever known in my head was banging. It was just like, I'm not supposed to go in here. I'm going to go to hell. This is not the voice. I was trained to know this ain't the
Mm.
voice. I'm supposed to be here. I'm not, this is not the church I was raised in, because we're taught that this is, the sheep know the voice. And this is not where God led you to be, because this is where you were raised. And this is a different type of teaching. And quite frankly, it was the most weirdest thing I ever experienced. When your heart is pounding and you're
Mm-hmm.
getting headaches and you're sweating, palms sweating. I'm looking like I just came out the pool. And
Oh.
that's how deep it was for
Mm-hmm.
me. And I got to the door and I couldn't even pull the handle because
Mm.
my heart was beating so fast.
Oh
And I
wow.
finally was able to pull the handle and I walked in the door, and that's where I thought I was going to drop dead as soon as I walked in there. Because that is what we are taught, that if you go do anything else besides this,
Mm-hmm.
then you are doomed for hell. And it was embedded in my brain. You
Mm-hmm.
can't go nowhere else and be saved but this place. You can't be saved nowhere else. Nowhere else God resides. Can't nobody save but us, and all others are going to hell. That was the thought pattern that is, and we walk like that, we talk like that. That was our attitude my whole life. So
Wow.
I had to learn to break it over time. And me actually walking into this place, and I'm gonna say it was a revival center in Des Moines. Y'all go check them out. They was pretty nice. They were just nice. I didn't drop over dead. And I sat there and I cried the whole service. Like I just cried. Like I literally walked out the church and I cried and
Mm.
cried and cried, came back, cried some more. And it so happened that another ex-member of the church I used to belong to so happened to go there, came out and met me at the door and
Oh.
just sat there and gave me a hug. That's all
Oh.
they said word. Because they knew. They knew. And they didn't say a word. They just gave me a hug.
Right.
And
And that's
they
what you
didn't
need.
have to say nothing.
Yeah,
They
they didn't.
knew.
Mm-hmm.
And after it was just some one of them things that you don't realize the detriment that you go through, and the pressure it has on your brain, because you want to make it in heaven that bad that you don't know the amount of stress you are willing to put yourself on. You really will break yourself down to go into a mental ward behind it, because you are trying to get to an area and achieve a spot where you know you're never going to be. You know you're never going to be perfect, but in your brain, you have stuck to this theory that I have to be perfect. And I have to be this, and I have to be that way, and I have to be under a certain type of teaching, and I have to be under a certain type of person. And that was in my brain, and I didn't know how to break it. I didn't know how. I didn't know where's the first place to start to do that. And that was the first best thing I ever could have did was just walk. Just just walk away. And if that's the best thing you can do is realize when something is wrong and you have to make the choice just to say, okay, this is wrong. Somebody got to take a stand and just say enough is enough and to walk away. Whether it be something that you were raised with your whole life. It's no different when Paul said in the Bible, he had to throw away all the things he ever known in life. He had to throw it away and start anew. So what was the difference between me having to start anew and learn everything I ever known over again? Some stuff I found out still to say was bad. And then there was stuff that I found out that was completely just man. Man said this. This was
Right.
not in
Okay.
the
Like
Bible.
what was made up or man made that you find out was like,
I found out that you don't have to be sitting by yourself. That being in an organization that's really reclusive, they don't go out, they don't talk to nobody. I didn't know other apostolic organizations existed outside the PAW and ours at that time.
hmm,
I didn't know of the PCAF. Didn't know who they. I didn't know they existed that long. I didn't know any other people existed. And to me, when you seclude yourself like that, that's how you start a cult. That's how
hmm,
things get started. That you are real secluded. Everybody's just, it's just got to be us. And then my thing, I'm thinking we have to have just one teaching. Literally, y'all will not believe it. Some folks will deny today, but some people will tell you sincere truth. Literally, when other pastors would get up and teach at the church I was at, it was like you had a 15-minute before we shut you down, like in our brain. It was like you sat there
mm,
for 15 minutes, and if you were not the bishop, you had 15 minutes before we clocked you out, before we get up and start going to the bathroom. We get to go into the fellowship hall and start working in the kitchen. We finna
oh
get up and
wow.
start doing something before, you had 15 minutes. I swear it'd be a whole meeting in the women's bathroom because after 15 minutes, our brains were not tuned to listen to you. We would just stare at you. You ain't getting no amen. You ain't getting no hallelujah. You've been up there too long, brother. You need to sit down. You is not the bishop. We not here to hear you. It was like we looked over at the main bishop like we need your approval before we can say amen. I promise you. Well, nobody's
Mm,
finna get up and say amen too loud. If you weren't the bishop, we'd be up
mm,
and we'd be in the bathroom. We got to be in there curling hair, found out who had a baby, who got married. Once you sat down here, we come right back out into the sanctuary. We were tuned to just do that listen to that one voice and no one else's. Like that one voice just had the word of God and no one else did.
mhm,
That's manipulation. That's in tune with that. That's what you're learning. I learned that not just one person has the word of God. And I had to break that. I literally had to learn to break that not this one person had the word of the Lord. Because not one person has that. Because why are there many pastors?
mhm,
If that's the case, why are so many people closed? If that's
mm,
the case, I had to learn it. Like in my years. Now everybody's not probably will argue me up and down, but this is what I had to learn. And I couldn't sit comfortably nowhere because in my brain, that is what had been induced into my brain. We were Reedites. We weren't trying to be like God. We were trying to be like Reed. Let's just be honest. We were. We had
mm.
shirts made up with the name Reedites on it.
Wait, what?
Yes, we had shirts with the name Reedites on it. We had the shirts made and we wore it proud. So to me, after a
Wait,
while,
wait,
it
wait. Hold
dawned
on,
on me.
hold on. Okay, so you had a shirt on that says "I'm a Readite."
Yes, it said yes. Reedites on it. Yes, we wore that shirt. Everybody had one. We wore it at conventions and everything. Of
Oh my
course, that
goodness.
wasn't strange to us. We wore that name proud. We were Reedites and we wore it proud, and we didn't see it no other way. Now, now listening to it, it sounds like that is weird. You're supposed to be learning God. You're supposed to try to be more like Him.
Mhm,
No, people were in there with we had Reedites on the shirt. We were more trying to be like Him than more trying to be like God. That's where a lot of us felt it. We put Him in the place where God was supposed to be. That's just not with me. It was with a lot of people. Hence why we have the problem where we having today with him marrying this baby. Y'all think it just started with the son? No, you have to trace it back. When you're compliant, why do you think everybody's so compliant with with what we have in here.
Mm-hmm.
You think he got as far as he got with just everybody going, okay, okay. That he just didn't start in 2018. People were complaining prior to 2018. Let me tell you, there's a whole lot of compliancy here. You had to be compliant before that to say yes to a child marrying an old man. So these are things that we did. We did so, and we did it with a proud face. We would fight you behind that church. Literally, we would fight you, shoot you, fight you, whatever we had to do. If you talked about him, you said anything about him, we were going to fight you.
It was like, not
Whatever
my pastor. Wait, we all
not my pastor. We would fight the parking lot. We fight in the parking lot, at the grocery store, we'll fight you at the schoolhouse, we'll fight you at the church parking lot, whatever we'll meet you outside the gate. What's up? What you say about Bishop? What's happening? That was how we was. We were all like that. It was the love we had, or we thought we had. That was the love, and it was misguided love. People thought if we cherished the bishop, then we love God. But did we choose him more than we love God? Because if that's the case, why are so many people being compliant to the mess we have going on today? Mm-hmm. That's not godly. Everybody lay quiet for so long with a lot of mess. People just like now coming out saying something's wrong with this, but things were wrong before and no one said nothing about it. And the ones that did were silent some way or another, or their voices were not heard, or they were not believed because of the connections the church had in the city. I don't know all the connections, but they had quite a few connections in the church, had quite a few connections, and people were silent. You can love someone, but can you tell that one the truth? Can you tell them when they're wrong? No one would tell him when he was wrong. He was the head. No one challenged that. And if you did, you were put out. No one challenged that. I don't have an ought to pick with nobody from there. I am not after nobody's name. I am just simply stating things that happen in the atrocities that I see and that I witnessed and that happened to me. I know people like, well, we love them. You can love them, but can you tell the truth? And these are facts. The church damning folks. They destroy people. And no one wants to say, okay, yes, it was me. I was damaged. It is okay. And that's where a lot of the issues are. That's what people were calling, harassing me about. I done got cussed out. People been calling and calling and calling and calling for no reason other than harass me. But my black game is strong. And I'm tired of being quiet about it. I was quiet all these years. People are losing their minds behind it. And just praying about it and not saying nothing ain't doing it. Mm-hmm. It's enough of that. You just can't pray and don't act. At what point is somebody going to stand up and say, okay, this is wrong. This wrong. And you can be wrong. And that's why just acknowledge that you were wrong so people can heal and people can go on. Because people can't heal if you don't acknowledge what you've done to them. That church and damage folks. Not only Reed, but some of the folks inside the church that help aid the mess. That's why nobody wants to really come out, because there were people that aided in it. Because they had for him. It wasn't the love for God. God would never tell you to go do something against his word just for the preacher. If you know stealing is wrong, and God says stealing is wrong, and you go and somebody asked you to do that, what would you do? You still gonna do it?
Wow.
You still did it, even though you know the word said it was wrong. So who did you do it for? Him, God, or did you do it for him? These are facts. I'm sorry if it rubs folks the wrong way. These are facts. I'm sorry. I love some of y'all over there, but these are facts. It is what it is. I'm going to shut up.
Okay. What would you like to say to the ones who are still in the church, but they thinking about leaving?
Get out. The road to heaven don't mean you got to stop at that doorstep. Leave, baby. Leave. While you still got a chance, leave. What is dry. The anointing is gone. So what is you there for? You just there just because of loyalty and then the name on it? Because you've been there 30, 40 plus years? Is that worth it also? Because I want to stay here because it's all I know. Sometimes you got to break that all I know and start over. Somebody, right? I can't tell you where to go. That's between you and God. But get out. If it ain't wrong, if it ain't right, it ain't right. Ain't that what we don't y'all remember 2, 4, 6, 8? Ain't that what we were taught? The ones I know, people, and I say that the people that I know know what I mean when I say 2, 4, 6, 8. They mean the doors. For those who don't know what that means, it was the
Wait,
doors.
what?
There was 2, 4, 6, 8. They described the doors. He used to say, if you don't like it, you can leave. 2, 4, 6, 8. They described the exit doors that were at the sanctuary door
Oh my
and stuff.
goodness.
So those that know, take your dog, get your head. Is it basically? But it go if you want to go stay. If you want to stay, hey, it ain't up to me.
But
Do
like I
whatever
said,
is in your heart to do.
mm-hmm.
Do whatever in
Tr-
your heart to do.
it's not just in the South. Vita V's church was up north. It's all over.
No. To the answer that's down there, Tristan, your answer that's floating that see across the screen. So I'm looking at it across the TV. No, he did not. The church took care of the
Oh, you
story
said
that it
did
was
he have
told to me.
you said
The
does
story
he
that he
work
said.
outside of pastoring?
No, I
No.
don't know too
Okay.
many pastors that do, to be honest, in that organization. There may be a few that may work outside of pastoring, but not a whole lot. I don't know too many people that work outside of just the pastoring over
Mm-hmm.
there in that organizational. There might be some, but it's not a whole lot. No. I'm not speaking for everyone, but
Mm-hmm.
there's some.
All right. Wow. 2, 4, 6, 8 of the churches doors. I'm still. Yeah. I'm still. Wow. Was there like a chant or something?
It's just the thing he said. You know, if you don't like how things are set up, you can leave. 2, 4, 6, 8. It became like a little joke, but he was serious. Said very serious. He was dead serious. Take your pick. Get your hat. That's why, people say 2, 4, 6, 8. It was the number of the doors that you can take your way on your way out.
Mm.
But I mean, when you're in a situation where everybody in your whole life is there, and your mama was there, your daddy's there, your grandparents may have been there, where you gonna go? That's all you know. You don't got nowhere else to go. You've been taught, and all you know is that voice, and where you gonna go? You're really not leaving nobody very much option to go anywhere. They're not gonna be able to hear anybody else. You know, unless it's kind of hard because unless you been in a situation like that, it's difficult to explain to the outside world the hold it is on the mind. It's a manipulation like nobody's business. And it is what it was. It was manipulation. You could love someone and you can be bought. People can be bought with trinkets. People can be bought with houses. People's loyalty can be bought with cars. Even though if you work and you budget, you can get all this stuff, yourself. That doesn't need to be bought. If you do what you're supposed to do in life, you can get them same things. I promise you, you can. Plenty of people have done it and went and did it. It just, people have been bought. Some folks can be bought. I can't. I can't be bought. Nothing that anyone can ever do can ever buy me or my soul. The train had to stop with me. I have a kid. The train got to stop with me. It's not going to befall upon her. Somebody got to cut it somewhere. I can't I can't keep doing this and have the system keep rolling. That's another generation to repeating the cycle. Who gonna stop the cycle? She gonna have she gonna be married at 16? No, no, not over here.
Oh yeah.
No, 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 no. I'm sorry. No, I can't do it.
Amanda, I don't know if you saw the last video. Her old church is Christ Apostolic Temple in Des Moines, Iowa. The her late pastor was Bishop Jeremiah Reed, and currently his son Dwight Reed is the current bishop, and he's the one that's 64 that's married to the 19-year-old.
I know y'all like, she usually not this quiet. Yes. This right here, y'all in my life. Yes. This right here is this is, because I just, this y'all in my life. But it must be told. If it's going to help somebody else to come on out, come on and come on and be free, fine. I'll take a hit.
And
Everybody
that's
can be
why I
mad
wanted
as
to
well.
do this live to offer people articles about, this condition, offer some places that they can get some resources, because there is help for people out there, because like you said, you telling them to go, but where do they go? Where
That's
do
what
they
I
go?
said where do we go? Because that's the same thing. Where do I go when it's all said and done? Where I got to go? And you
Mm-hmm.
just have to just take a foot. You think it's too far down the line, just take a foot. Just be like, Lord, wherever you lead me, I'll go. If that means I have to sit at home and cry about it for a minute, because you gonna cry about this time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This stings. This hurts. And you're not going to get over it in 2 days. You're not going to get over it in a week. You're not going to get over it in maybe in a year or the next 2 years. This is going to take time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take time. It's going to take some people that love you, who understand. It's going to take some people who got patience for that. It's going to take you people to get a hold of folks that you really never really talked to before. You just gonna have to reach out and just open your mouth. And it might take a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I'll leave my email address open for anybody. Like even though like most folks know I am the most people that know me, I was the rough and tough with your Afro Plus. I will fight you. And might even stab you. No, I probably would stab you. I was just rough like that. This is not bragging. I was just rough like that. And to
Mm-hmm.
a point I still am. But I've become more meekful now in a lot of ways. But if I can help you, anybody out there, if you was over there, I don't care if you was at that church, I don't care what denomination you was in. If you was out there and if you feel like you ain't got nobody else to talk to, please reach out to me. I will hear you. I will believe you. I won't spread your business. I won't get on no line and tell none of your stuff. There's plenty of folks that already reached out and I ain't got on here and said nobody business. If this is what you need to talk to somebody, just for somebody to say, I believe you and I hear you, I will do that. I will do that. If that's
What
what you need.
email? What email do you want them to contact you at?
The same one that's on Alma. I use that Shaquila email that I have, Shaquila8282852 at gmail.com.
Okay,
I'll use that email for everything.
CHEQUI. Uh-huh.
CHEQLLA.
Okay.
82852. The
CHEQ.
same way you email me all the time at. That's the one.
Okay. Is it okay? I'm trying to spell it right. CHEQUILA.
LLA. Two L's and an A.
Two LLs. Okay. All right.
You reached me there.
You said at Gmail. Okay. Put that in
Yes.
there.
You reached
And
me over there.
you as well if
At
you need
Gmail, that's yeah.
resources. Um. Okay, that's both of our email addresses. Vesper, he meant Mormon, not more Norman. He meant Mormons. Oh,
Yeah, so if that's what you need, I will be here for you if that's what you need. Like I said, I can't tell you where to go, but I can listen to you. and I can understand. I'm not judging anybody. Your judgment, I ain't got no X around with nobody. I don't care what it is. It is what it is. And I ain't trying to go here and be like the moles in the Underground Railroad. I ain't trying to be like Harrison. I just want to see people be great. I want to see people to smile. I want people to know that God is real. He still loves you. And this is just something that happened in our road. And this is not you. And that your work wasn't in vain. Because some of y'all worked hard. A lot of y'all worked hard for that church and hard for churches in general and thought you were doing it for the love of God. And it got mixed up in the riffraff of other people and man. That is not what it was. You did what you did because your love was for God. So please, if this what that takes, if you talking to somebody for someone to believe you and understand and recognize that hurt for you to move on so you can be okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'll do that. And I'll take the cussing out that I keep getting. I'll take that. That's all right. Y'all, they don't scare me. I got gun license and everything, and I'll be on my porch and I'll be out here free, just as happy as day is long. I am not scared of that man's soul. So feel free if that's what you need to do. Just do what you got to do to be free, and that's really it for me. That's really it for me. That's all I really want to tell folks over there, anywhere, all over the world. Whatever you got to do to be great. And Amanda, yeah, I know of her parents, and I've seen her. I've known her. She don't remember me, but I remember who she is, and she's way years younger than me, and stuff like that. Like I've known her parents and stuff like that, and her grandparents and things of that nature. And I don't really discuss the 19-year-old because to me, I think that's a victim. She's a victim, and
Mm. Yeah.
people are slandering to a point, are slandering her and stuff. And I don't speak about her because she's really just a child, and she's a victim, and she
She's a
was
teenager still, even
done. Yeah,
though.
she's a teenager, and she did this, and this was done to her at distress. That's the victim. That's like me beating up a rape victim or a domestic abuse violence victim. I'm not going to beat her up. I'm not going to do that to that baby.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that either. She needs help. Um, and I just, I
My
wish
heart go out to her.
I wish I could be on some type of underground railroad for victims.
I'm
Like,
trying to tell y'all, she'd be the first one I snatch and run to freedom. I take her
exactly,
straight to her mama.
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll take her straight to her mama.
I come by in my car when he not there. I'm like, girl, get in his car. Let's go.
You ride out. Well, I'll take you straight to your mama, baby. I take you straight to your mama.
Yeah,
Like
yes.
go grab her and take her straight to her mom because that's who she needs. She need her mama.
And mama, yeah.
She need the love of her mama and love of people that love her, like really love her, not faking, not putting on no show, not amen and BS. That really love her. She need her mom.
Mm-hmm.
At that age and going through all of this, she needs her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could, I'd take her and send her straight to her mom on the nearest flight,
Oh,
right
her
to her
mama
mother.
doesn't live in Des Moines anymore?
I'm not gonna say
Or you can't say? Okay.
where the child mother and all these people
Yeah, let's
are.
not. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
I
Hey,
know.
girl.
I just don't say.
Okay.
Protection of the mama and the protection of that child. I just don't say. I mean, mama got it where I got it like a really bad hand in the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could, I straight take her to you. I hope she can hear me. I would straight bring her to you. I really would. And so she can hug you because she needs you. That
Mm-hmm.
baby needs you.
Right.
And they keeping her from you. She needs you.
That's really sad. And that's also we talked about, cults and everything. That is really one of the biggest signs of a cult. If they ostracize you or keep you separate from your family or family members or your friends network, and your only thing you have left is that organization, whether it's Christian or non-Christian, that's a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And like I told you about Nature Boy, like those people had to give up everything and they live in this house with him. And if they don't act right, they got to get in, military formation with their hands up to get direction. and listen to him for hours and hours. So, yeah, y'all have any other questions for me or V to V? I would definitely put all of these links in the description. Didn't people learn anything from Jim Jones? This is the thing. Some of us who are followers learn that we need to be careful in following people. But then guess what? There's some other people who learn something different from Jim Jones, how to control people. They just did things in a different way. Amanda, I don't want to say that all church when they started schools were bad. I guess because also I'm biased because I'm Catholic, and so there are Catholic schools, but they're like the largest religious-based schools in the country. I mean, there's even like Methodist schools, Lutheran schools, Presbyterian schools. What did you say, Tristan? What are you talking about?
What? Wait a minute.
Is that in one of the articles I gave you? Hold on.
Oh, what is going on?
Which article was this? The New York Times article?
Oh, people follow anything nowadays. Seems like if you chose Jesus on top of anything, folks go with it. You can be a serial killer.
My thing is that means past tense, right? So we only allowed to have non.
Oh, nature boy. Oh, yeah. His weird self. He's a whole set of problems.
Oh, is that? Oh, you talking about Nature Boy? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A guy who was a gay prostitute. Okay, I thought it was like somebody else who maybe got saved, went to church, and oh. He might have to be another episode of African American Greek because I haven't done Nature Boy.
Oh, that man gonna make you sick. You might want to disinfect your phone and your computer after you look at anything you got going on.
I was on Max V World Media and he did a reaction video what Nature Boy is doing, and I was just like, when I saw that it was one where like he had them singing and stuff, and I'm like, what is this kind of neo Erykah Badu chant they got these people doing? And then in another video, he had them standing up, and then I see the 3-year-old standing up with him. I'm like, what the 3-year-old do?
Child, you should have seen the one he talking about. The man was drinking his sperm, talking about you want some knowledge. I said, what type of man?
He had them doing what?
Got the man over there drinking his sperm and things.
Okay.
Yeah, he over there doing the most. Disinfect your phone, disinfect your computer.
I'm sorry. Throw the whole Nature Boy away.
You might want to think twice about Nature Boy. He over there doing everything. And I mean everything.
And then I saw, Max said he used to cover. He was in that sector years ago.
But that's how I found out all the stuff he was doing.
And then, they had I don't know, I guess one of his wives or something, named Malia. I think she left, but I think she came back. And then when she got back, somebody jumped her.
Yeah, you see how she can dart into them spirits, whatever they conjuring up over there.
What is going on?
Her voice got deep and all kind of people she's like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what she did, but she turned into like 45 different people all in one setting, and like her voice changed and she started screaming and hollering. I was like, oh, and then they went down there and attacked her and it was fighting her, and I was just like, this a mess. She's an exorcist or something, because baby was going, oh, child, you got to see it. Because he was crazy. I said, oh, Oh, it's them spirits they conjuring up over there. I don't know what they over there got them people doing, but besides swapping diseases, but they conjuring up something over there because they was
Now,
doing the most.
Max did say that when the women come there, he, I guess, gets to sleep with them, and then he passes the women out to the other men, like he assigns them their wife or
Yeah,
whatever.
when he's done with them,
When he's
whenever
done with
once he's
them,
done with, yeah, whatever one's done with, because the men don't even sleep in the house; they sleep in the garage and they sleep on the
what?
floor. They don't have
Oh,
beds; they sleep on the floor and they sleep in the garage.
oh, Lord have mercy.
Girl, you need to go on his Twitter.
Please help us,
Just
Lord.
like I say, disinfect your phone.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
Oh, he made me sick last night. I had I I was like, ugh. My stomach was tore up. I said, no, that no. I stumbled upon that one, and I was like, I don't want to stumble upon nothing else. I almost just took Twitter off my phone completely. That's how nasty it was. I said, oh no, they let anything go on Twitter.
Oh
Twitter,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
whew.
A friend of mine. Oh yeah, I was watching about this pastor. They found out he had an affair with the gay man, OnlyFans guy, and guess where it was? Oh, Twitter. Twitter had the video. I said, you know what? I wish
Yeah,
I,
you gonna find all kind
I
everything
wish
on
I had.
everything you even know was on Twitter. It is a free for all on Twitter. They don't have no type of guidelines or nothing.
Mm,
You can put your naked soul on Twitter,
mm,
and they would not care at all.
mm,
And so I
mm,
was like, oh, you're gonna be a Twitter for and search out sometimes because if you don't, you're gonna fall into that rabbit hole and it's
mm,
gonna lead you down some places you don't need to be.
mm.
But I appreciate you having me here on this
Well,
show.
I
I
appreciate you
appreciate y'all
coming.
listening to me
We love
get on
having
here on church trauma, and I hope all the healing in the world for those out there, not just in this situation, but in any other denomination or church that you were spiritually abused in, had some church trauma that you seeking some
you.
type of therapy for. If you need to go to therapy, go. If you need help going to sleep, because I couldn't go to sleep, so I had to go seek some attention to get some help so I can go to sleep because I couldn't go to sleep after a while.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff starts to hunt you.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff starts to get on you and it head weighs heavily. You don't go to sleep and you don't eat and it makes sometimes people get sick, like physically sick
Mm-hmm.
from not being where you thought God told you to be.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I know y'all. So if you need to go seek some help outside of you going to seek another pastor because the pastor is not a therapist, please go seek one. If you
Yes.
need medication and so you can go to sleep, so you can get some rest, go get that. Ain't nothing wrong with you going to take you a tramadol or a Theraclub so you can get you some rest. You got
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, go get that Klonopin so you can calm yourself down, get your nerves corrected. Ain't
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with you going to get. That's what the medication is for, to help you get yourself corrected. Prayer don't. You can use prayer, but when you get done praying, please go get some medication if that's
Thank
what you need.
you. When you're done praying, please go get some therapy and some medication.
But I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna get off here and finish doing my baby girl hair.
Oh,
I will
okay.
see y'all later.
All right. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
All right. Bye. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening to this live. Thank you, Vita V, for coming up here and give some more of your testimony. Um, this is Vita V's page. Please like, share, and subscribe to her. I will put all of the videos and resources I have in the description. Okay. And like I said, Vita V and myself also gave our email address. So if you need uh some help, some more resources, you just want someone to listen, you want to, I don't know if you want to come on the show, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just whenever you're ready or whatever you need, because I really want to help somebody, because like I said before at the beginning of the program, Diane Reed, if you're listening, I would love for you to come back and talk to me and talk to the other followers, because I want to give you another chance to actually get to say all what you didn't get to say the last time. Okay. So here's my email address, kdiva703@gmail.com. And the other is Chiquila852. Also, Diane, on Vita V's channel, her very first, I think it's part 1, the church aftermath. She has a message for you, a very important message for you. So please do check that out. Okay. Thank y'all all for being here. Um, check out, join me in the chat on my friend Dara Moore's channel on Wednesday. And then I believe we're going to go back to his channel for Friday Night Live this Friday. So, okay. Thank you, Tristan, Amanda, NBS, Vesper, Clouds. Who else? Don't want to forget nobody. I was Mad Church Disease, Keeper 116. Thank you so much for stopping by. And Christine Parks, number one mod. LH2K Presents. Thank you so much. Ava Collier, thank you for stopping by. Tony Exum, Vita V, Marjorie Harris, thank you so much. Fred Samuel and Daryl Moore, thank you so much for coming by tonight. If you're having religious trauma, please look at the resources that I'm putting in that are in the chat, and also the ones I'm going to put in the description. Okay. If you're not a person suffering from religious trauma, please pass this video on to someone who may have it, or you think like, hey, maybe you trying to talk to them and it's not working, but maybe someone else, either me or Vita V can reach out to them, So I want to help somebody. We want to help somebody. So, all right, y'all have a good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Thank you so much, Fred Samuel. I appreciate it. All right, Vita V. Thank you for coming. All right, now. Good night, everybody. Bye.